journey with intention and never fail to mention that we go hard every time we go in. Everything I'm feeling must be something I've been missing. However, all the
Welcome to Book Babes Read. For our new viewers, thank you for joining us. And for returners, thank you for coming back. Before we begin, please make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video. We'll wait. Okay, great. So before we jump in, let's just remind the viewers of who we are. I'm Danica.
I'm Erin.
I'm Takesha.
Hey y'all, I'm Bridget.
So today we're doing things a little bit different. Today we will be discussing a book by an up-and-coming author. This book is meant to remind women that they are worthy and deserve to be treated with respect. Today we're discussing Don't Fall Prey by Bethanee Epifani J, Bryant.
Bethanee Epifani is an author with a purpose. She strives to inspire the youth to discover their gifts through her words. As a motivational speaker, workshop facilitator, blogger, and youth mentor, Bethanee connects with her audiences by discussing relevant topics and sharing her own stories. She nurtures her audiences with principles of personal growth, including self-love, self-determination, and self-actualization. Her passion for empowerment developed as Bethanee battled her own mental and emotional struggles. Having overcome these obstacles, Bethanee is eager to share her wisdom in an effort to help others break down their own barriers.
Thank you, Erin. So, this book is packed with ideas, tips, and suggestions for women who are currently dating. To be clear, the author states that this book is not an attack on men and that she is simply sharing her experiences and the experiences of other women to shed light on current issues in the dating world. Okay, so the first chapter, Chivalry is Dead and Women Killed It. The author poses a very interesting question. Should women be required or responsible to teach men how to treat them? She says no, men should hold themselves accountable for their behaviors and how they treat women. Bridget, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I definitely think that the author is on to something with that. I think when you think about like romantic relationships, a lot of times we forget that they should start as friendships and as like two people getting to know each other. And when you start that way and you have a level of respect for another person, regardless of it being romantic or a friendship, you should treat them in a certain way, right? So I don't think that another person should teach you how to treat them. Like respect is a mutual thing. You should know how to respect people.
See, I feel a little differently. So I feel like it's a two-way street. I agree with you that people should just like upright have respect for people as you're starting to get to know them and date them. But I do think in a certain sense, I have to teach you how to treat me specifically, because I feel like just because you treat everyone in the same instance like that's not how I personally like to be treated. So I think as we're dating and getting to know each other, to your point, you'll learn how to treat me through what I'm going to accept from you also. So just a little bit of a variance, not fully agreeing, but I hear you.
I mean, I've heard men say that they're not mind readers and that if a woman wants something that you should speak up and verbalize what it is that you want so that you get it. So that could be another way to look at it as well. Like, you know, you can't expect people to treat you a certain way. Yes, respect along the board, but you shouldn't, I don't know, expect people to be mind readers too in the process.
I mean, I agree with basically everything you all have said. I think it's similar to like loving a person, for example. You can't expect that someone knows how you need or want to be loved. You do have to tell them. You have to share that with them. And I think it's part of communication. So if you don't communicate that to them, they're not going to know. As Danica said, men are not mind readers. Women are not mind readers. So if you have a certain way that you want to be treated or loved, you need to put those expectations out there, so that the person knows exactly what is necessary, what you need, and if they can give you that.
That part. That part. And even to just go on that part, like I think that that's really important to highlight, because a lot of times people want to love you, but they don't actually have the capacity to love you properly. And so just even highlighting that, like, that's why I feel like you need to share, because like that part, like I love the idea of like saying to somebody, can you give me what I need?
So go ahead.
No, I definitely agree with that, but I think that showing someone who you are and getting to know them is not teaching them how to treat you. So I can show you this, but you can just disregard that whole thing. If I have to continuously teach you how to treat me, that's a problem. Yeah. And I shouldn't have to do that.
I basically was going to just say the same exact thing, but like you could tell somebody maybe once or twice, but how often are you telling them? Like, what if they're not actually comprehending what you're saying? Like, do you give it up? Do you stop dating?
Yes.
I mean, does teaching have to be repetitive? Do you have to always teach someone more than once? At the end of the day, I'm gonna go there, ladies. Sometimes men have to be taught about sex as well. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think that there's anything wrong with having to teach someone what you need, how to give you what you need and what you want or expect from a relationship.
But when do you stop?
I mean, there might be a stopping point, but when we think about should I or should I not teach someone, I think it's perfectly fine to teach someone, because you will encounter people. I've encountered people and I'm like, oh, someone taught you.
Yeah. Okay. So now on to the topic of shooting your shot. So in this chapter, she talks about the fear of rejection that both men and women feel when it comes to shooting your shot. So ladies, would you shoot your shot to jumpstart your romance?
I can try. To be honest, so I have a friend and she read this book, and I can't remember the name of the book off the top of my head, but the book was all about women actually taking the initiative and shooting the shot. It gave tips and tricks, and it sounds really good. However, I have that fear of rejection. So I'm not gonna lie to you. When it comes to shooting shots, like, I think I'm too corny for it. Like, I don't have the right words. I don't know what the swagger is. But what I've learned is you also have to look open to somebody shooting their shot to you. So if you and your friends are in a closed up circle and it don't look like the man can make his way in, you're not going to get shot at. So
but will you shoot your shot?
I don't know. I don't think so. Like, I'm being honest. Like, I want to learn how to do that, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I can open up a conversation, right? Like, I'm not that person who's not, like, I'm friendly. I can talk to people and, like, open the door. But then when it comes to, like, closing the deal and being like, you know what, I like, really like you. Like, I'm feeling you. Like, that's the part I struggle with. My friend used to make a joke she says I open and she closes the deal because we like the same type of guys. So I would bring them over and I'm like, yeah, we talking. And then I'm like, okay. So... I don't know. I'm too awkward for it, so I don't know. I don't think I would shoot my shot in real life.
I just want to make a quick disclaimer. There are some women who do not want to shoot their shot ever. They want to be courted and pursued from the very beginning, like my sister behind the camera. I just had to share that message. Anyone else shooting your shot?
So I was the queen of this in college because...
Oh, the queen. Give me some tips.
So if I see somebody that disclaimer, I'm in a committed relationship. I love my man. Just so you know. But no, I think that just opening a conversation. The biggest fear is knowing whether or not that person is interested in you. So like for me, I would just like watch. If you keep looking at me, then it has to be something you looking at, or why are you looking over here? So that would be like my go-to is like if you look more than twice, you're interested, right? So then I would just, hi, how you doing? I guess college is different though because everyone is getting to know each other. So it's in a different field, so. But yeah, it's just, hi, how you doing?
Now, how would you shoot your shot?
Introduction, hi.
How do you close
I'm
the
Bridget.
deal?
Can I get your number? Can we continue this conversation? That's simple, yes. Can we continue this conversation via text?
Okay. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, I'm like Takesha. I think I'm just too corny for it. I don't think I would be able to close the deal at all. I'm one of the ones who want to be courted and pursued from the very beginning.
The only problem with that is that you might miss out on opportunities because they don't know if you're interested. You don't know if they're interested. I mean, so now, what?
I don't know.
I think that men are just as nervous as women when it comes to pursuing someone. I really do. And I think that women can be a little more open to shooting their shot and you can still be courted and pursued.
I mean, that's literally what the book that I'll put it in the comments so that y'all can actually get this book if you're interested in shooting your shot. But that's really what my friend was talking about. Like, so you can shoot your shot and then be pursued. I just don't think it's for me. You know what I mean? Like that idea of like actually going out and doing it. Like that's that part is where I struggle, because I know myself, and it's going to be like really awkward when I'm like, okay, he's been here for too long and I don't know how to do it. But I do like your text line, like, can we continue this later? I'm gonna try it in the real world when it opens up.
You're not trying nothing. All right. Now on to the topic of age. Is age really just a number? So in the book, she goes into like these different story times, and she shares a story about dating an older man. And me and her kind of had like a similar experience. And I think we would come to an agreement that just because they're older doesn't mean they necessarily know how to interact in a healthy manner in a relationship with a woman. So, Erin, is age really just a number? Like, what do you think about age in dating?
Well, Pretty Ricky said no. And Aaliyah said no. I do think it's just a number. At this point in my life, I have interacted with men of different ages. I've heard stories from people. I know people who have dated older men, who have dated younger men. I think it really all has to do with your experiences. Honestly, when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, older guys are more mature. You have to date an older man. But the reality is that once you start dating them, you realize it's not about the age.
It's really not.
It's all about where you are in life, what your experience is, and how mature you are, regardless. There are 50-year-old men who act like teenage boys. There are 25-year-old men who have what you might say is an old soul. So I really don't think that age matters. I think you really have to feel a person out and see where they are in life.
Wow, well said.
Yeah, I wish that I had more to add on to that, but I even had a recent dating experience, the same thing. Like, older, you would think like, oh, this is about to be it. Like, and it just was a whirlwind of different things. It's like wherever you are in your life is like where I think the substance comes from, and that's what really builds a relationship. And so, no, I don't think that age is like it. Like, a lot of people really do have this notion that older guys are more mature. And I think in certain parts of my life, I believe that as well. When I was in my 20s, like, I always said that, like, oh, I can't date somebody who's younger than me because his maturity level wasn't there. And I still to this day really don't want to date someone younger, but I also know I don't want to date somebody super older, because I don't know, I've been through all of those experiences. So I do agree that the meat of the person is what's more important than the actual number that they hold.
I mean, you guys said it all. You want to add? Okay.
I agree with everything you all said. But I'm also thinking about like somebody that's extremely old, and if you like 50 plus, like I'm nowhere near that. I'm sorry, I can't. For me, like dating like extremely beyond my age, no. Sugar daddy age, I'm not about that sugar baby life.
Extreme, Bridget. 20 years plus?
20 years plus. I could probably do 10.
I'm not even doing 10.
I'm not doing 10 either.
I could probably do 10. Anything over 10? Nah. That's creepy.
But why?
For me, I'm always going to look at you as like grandpa status. Yeah. And that's not okay with me. I can't do it.
It's funny because I'm watching 90 Day Fiance the other way, and there's like this. I love that show. I know, everybody always loves this show, so it makes me so happy when I find a group. Yes, and they're ages apart. Like, I think she's actually either older than his mom or around the same age as his mom. And even her youngest daughter is like older than him. Something along that line, but they're so in love. It's weird to me, but like, you know, that it exists. Some people do. He could get other people.
Right. Great show. I agree. All right, so we're still on the topic of guys. Do nice guys finish last? Yeah.
I think we can start with you, Danica.
I don't think nice guys finish last. I think it depends on your age. Yeah. So maybe in my 20s, the nice guys. Early 20s, the nice guys would have finished last. But in my 30s, I like nice guys. I think they make great husband material, and that's what I'm looking for. I don't need bad boy. I don't need a bad boy in my life starting drama, taking me out on shootouts and all this stuff. Don't need that.
What did that happen to you?
That never happened.
You don't know. You don't know. But I think for me now, at the age that I'm at in my 30s, give me the nice guy. Just give me the nice guy.
I definitely agree. In my early 20s, because I am still in my 20s, nice guys finished last. And I don't want to say that means I went for bad boys necessarily, but if I did feel that someone was too nice or not aggressive enough, I guess, they probably ended up finishing last for me. And now I look at that totally different, have a totally different perspective in my late 20s. And understanding like the respect that comes with being a nice guy and what I want for myself, that's who would finish first for me.
Yep. And she even had a part in the book that I really liked where she explained it, because I feel like I've heard it amongst my black women friends where it's like, oh, I was dating this guy, but I need somebody who's going to tell me to sit down and I'm going to go sit. Like that notion and idea that's embedded in us, like I think in my early 20s, same thing. Like I thought that that's what I needed, but I realized once I got older, like that's not it. Don't tell me to sit down. Like that's not finna happen. So.
For me, it's always been guys with confidence. Like, if you don't have confidence, then I'm not talking to you. And I don't know if I kind of like equated that with the nice guys, because some nice guys would be so nervous. Yeah. Like, if you're nervous to talk to me, don't come over here. Why are you over here? What? No, I'm serious, because it comes off as you being very nervous and like I can't deal with that. I'm sorry. I need somebody with confidence. So it's not necessarily like them being nice, but like that lack of confidence. I can't. I don't want it.
So what about guys that want to play peekaboo in your life, meaning they pop in and out, in and out, in and out?
So Danica knows. There is this guy. I have him as something South Bronxener in my phone. This man literally pops up every once in a blue to say absolutely nothing. And like, it's like, oh, I was going to be in New York. Or I was going to be in your area. I want to take you on a date. This date ain't still happened. Like, I think I met this man maybe in like 2015. Like we are in 2020, but he pops up every once in a blue. And I always screenshot it and send it to Danica because it's hilarious. Like, what do you want? And I recently asked him that, like, what is it that you want? And he didn't have an answer, or he didn't really even know what he wanted. Like, he just doesn't want to. He just wants to have access to me. So like this idea is that's what the peekaboo is, really, like somebody coming in, coming out, and feeling like they constantly have access. And so it got to the point similar to her thing where it's like, I have to cut off access because I don't actually know what you want, why you're around. You don't know what you want or why you're around either. There's no point in this. So I'm totally against this idea of peekaboo, and I think we need to just learn how to set boundaries and stop allowing people to come back and forth, because there's a part of that I'm contributing to too, because I'm answering you. I'm letting you feel like you could keep coming back every 3-4 years to take me out on a non-existent date. So,
well, the peekaboo guy in my life is just checking in on me. Like, what is it that you want? What are you checking in on? Like, what? It's no date or anything. I'm just checking in on you. Why? I'm okay. All right, on to the last topic, dating as a black woman in America. Let me just say that it's extremely difficult. She discusses several studies, and the one that stood out to me is the one that said basically black women are the least desirable race amongst white, black, Latino, and Asian men. Any thoughts on that?
If you don't want us, that's fine. Don't look at us on TV. Period. Don't like nothing. Mm-hmm. Don't ask your girl to go get her body done to look like us. Okay. Keep walking and mind your business, because we know we are everything and we don't need y'all.
Okay. I like that. And you know, they made a good point in the book, and it's something that you just brought up. So many women go and get surgical procedures to literally look like black women. And then you have the ones who also like use our culture and they gain our men. And the idea of that is really what's psychotic to me. It's like you don't like black women themselves, but you want a woman who reminds you of a black woman. That don't make no sense.
Want to add anything?
I mean, you've all said it very well. I think a lot of it also has to do with how black women are portrayed in the media as being always the aggressive type, always sometimes even scary, or just never like that, never an example or a model of beauty necessarily. And but it's ironic because, yes, everyone is getting surgery. Everyone is doing boxer braids or locks, or we have all these I can't think of the word right now, but for me personally, I'm happy with how I am. But also when it comes to men, if you don't like black women, then we probably have no relationship at all. Friendship, romantic relationship, anything, because there's something then that's going on with you that I need you to discover about yourself before we can continue any type of relationship.
Agreed. I love that.
Love it too. Well said. Yeah, I agree with you all. Okay, so now it's time to transition to Rate That Book. For our new viewers, Rate That Book is a segment where we give the book we're discussing a rating from 1 to 5. We also use one adjective to describe it, so you must choose wisely, okay? Are we ready? Okay. I'll begin. Relatable.
Unoriginal.
Known.
Transparent.
Well, there you have it. Don't Fall Prey in a nutshell. We really hope you enjoyed this episode, and
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this post. And also make sure you follow us on Instagram, because if you're not following us, then what are you doing? Follow us at Book Babes Read.
I think that's it. Bye.
Please, no, the clock will tick. So while you get lit, focus on your grind. You'll reach your prime. When it's your time, will you remember? You shine.
Two separate styles fight the mesh within the anguish. Misunderstood, unable to speak each other's language. Where the symmetries align, I have hopes been crushed. Loyalty, while our eyes wide shut on some Stanley Kubrick. Life's a puzzle like a rubrics in which you begat these other notes flat. Sing your soul in memory, your sweet and lingering. I'll take it with me to the next, if anything's left, right?